guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Jenny. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with laser hair removal. If you're someone who has thought about getting laser hair removal, or if you're just curious to hear what laser hair removal is and what is it like, or if you're probably just somebody who is tired of shaving, waxing, or whatever method you use to remove any unwanted hair, then this video is for you. But before we continue, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. I post videos on makeup tutorials, makeup reviews, fashion, lifestyle, and anything that has to do with being a girl. If you like any of those things, then this channel is for you. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, before we start, I just want to mention that I am not an expert in laser hair removal. The purpose of this video is only to share my experience with laser hair removal, and you should always consult with a specialist and research any information on your own. I first did laser hair removal about 2 years ago, I want to say. So I was probably somebody like you that I heard of laser hair removal and how it provided long-term, I guess, removal all the hair. I started looking into it specifically because I was not happy with shaving. I mean, I don't know, I just hated shaving. I hated that you will shave one day and then the day after your hair will regrow, and sometimes I didn't have time to shave and then I would just have to modify the outfit that I'm wearing, or you know how it goes. That I hated getting bumps, ingrown hairs, and all those side effects or things that come with shaving. So I put some questions down in my phone, so if I keep looking down, that's the reason why. But these are basically just things that I wish I would have known before I got laser hair removal, or are just things that I think everybody who wants to get laser hair removal should know. So first, what is laser hair removal and how does it work? So laser hair removal is supposed to be a long-term to almost permanent method of hair reduction. So basically, laser is like a beam of highly concentrated light that once it goes over your skin, is gonna target areas of high pigmentation. And I know that sounds scary, but basically the laser is gonna detect the areas where the root of your hair are. The roots of the hair are actually known as follicles. When that lighting or the laser hits your root of the hair, it's basically damaging that root, that it's no longer gonna grow the same way it used to. I hope that I explained that to you clear enough, and that I didn't confuse you more. But basically the laser over time is gonna destroy the root of the hair, which is gonna decrease hair regrowth. Simple as that, I guess. I personally have seen two different types of laser machines, I guess. The place that I go to has two different locations, and I've been to both and I've seen two different machine ones. I've seen one laser one that basically it looks like a one that has like a little stick or metal stick, and the laser it's kind of like really far from the skin. And I've seen a different machine where the one, I'm trying to see how I can explain this. Let's say that this is the one they actually rubber on your skin, just like that, directly on your skin. So just know that it depends where you go. You might see different type of laser machines, and I just wanted to put that there because that also depends how painful it will be, and I'll tell you in a second why. And I guess the second thing that I wanted to get into is what are the benefits of getting laser hair removal. So I personally, like I said at the beginning, hated shaving. And with shaving, a lot of things happen. Like I will get hair bumps all the time, ingrown hairs, and it takes a lot of time. You have to constantly be shaving. When you get laser, you literally don't have any more hair bumps. There's no irritation after. I mean, I will tell you in a second that yes, when you get it done, the day off you have your session of laser hair removal, yes, you are gonna have irritation on your skin, but I guess after that one time, you're not gonna have irritation on a daily basis. Like I said, no ingrown hairs. And another plus for me was that the skin tone actually lightens over time. And more than anything, you see it on your armpits. And I don't have before pictures to show you, but I'm gonna be raw in here. I'm gonna show you my underarm. And I don't know about you, but this area used to be a lot darker. When I used to shave, I used to have a lot of ingrown hairs, and that irritation that the ingrown hairs left on my skin, along with any prior scarring from ingrown hairs, it made my underarm skin look a little bit darker than it was. And once I did laser hair removal, this whole area just literally lightened up. And I mean, to me, that is light. I mean, it's lighter than what it used to be before. So that's a major plus once you do laser hair removal. And another thing is that I think overall, you definitely save a lot of money. Yes, when you do a laser hair removal treatment, you are gonna pay more money up front, meaning that depending where you go, at least where I went, you had to pay, let's say you buy 6 sessions the first day that you go. So you pay for all of your sessions up front. And yes, it is more money that you have to pay at the beginning, but it's something that it's gonna last me for a very long time. And as opposed to waxing, you probably spend similar amount, but you have to do it constantly. So it's something that it's not permanent, or it's not long-term, I guess. So that's another benefit of laser hair removal. And that leads me to my next point, which is how long does laser hair removal last? And I think I won't be able to give you a specific answer because it all depends on person to person. Some people might have more stubborn hair than others. Some people might have thicker hair, and not everybody experiences the same results with laser. So laser, although it's supposed to be a long-term to almost permanent hair removal, I was told at the place that I go to that as a woman, if you have any hormonal changes like giving birth, some women might experience more hormonal changes than others. And when your hormones go out of control, hair tends to regrow more than normal. I personally haven't had any hormonal changes that would cause hair to grow back drastically. It is very common that if you did like 6 or 10 sessions of laser hair removal and that after like months, maybe a year or 2 later, that you see some of the hair growing back. It is pretty common, and for those reasons, you can always do touch-up sessions in which, let's say you buy like a smaller package and you can do one laser hair removal like now, and then you can do another one 6 months from now. It all depends on everyone's case. I personally haven't had to, I guess, redo certain areas of my body that I already finished like a whole treatment. I have seen like small little hairs that almost look like facial hair regrow, but it's nothing like it was before. It is normal that your body naturally would try to regrow hair, but even if it does, it's never gonna regrow back to how it used to. And when you do see thin hair growing back, that's when you should go to do retouches of laser in those specific areas. I hope that clears up that confusion. So basically, laser hair removal, it is supposed to be a long-term alternative, and I cannot say that it's fully permanent because depending on each person's case, you might have to do retouches months or years after you finish your treatment. So now this leads me to my next point, which is what areas of my body have I done laser removal on. So at this point, I've done my underarms, I've done my upper lip or mustache area, I've done my bikini and the whole Brazilian area, and I've also done full legs. And I didn't do all of those areas all at once. Let me tell you why. Because first, I wasn't sure how painful it was gonna be, and yes, pain varies depending on the areas. There are areas on our bodies that are more sensitive than others. And the second thing was the cost, because obviously you have to pay the cost of your sessions up front. At least where I went, that's how it was. And it was just easier for me to pay, you know, for those sessions if I did one area first and another area. And sometimes I actually was doing 2 areas at a time. So that's the reason why I did it in different timings. I did underarms first because that was the area that I was, I guess, the most annoyed with shaving constantly, and I was tired of getting the bumps and the ingrown hairs. So that was the first. Then I decided to do upper lip, and then I did full legs, and now lastly I did the bikini and the whole Brazilian area. The whole thing. If you don't know the difference of bikini and Brazilian, so they're 2 different areas. So if you do bikini, they basically just do laser on the, like if you were wearing a bikini, the areas where the skin is being exposed outside of the bikini if you have hair that grows in that area. And Brazilian, you basically do the whole thing, the whole feminine part and all the way to the bottom. That's the Brazilian. So I guess now that I'm saying all those areas, I think I pretty much done laser everywhere. I mean, I do know that you can also do laser on other areas of your face. Like you can do your sideburns if you have a lot of hair. That's something that I am considering doing, this area right here, just because I get a little bit of hair there. It's very thin though because it is facial hair. You can't really see it, but you know, sometimes it bothers me. And the other area that I know you could do, some people do arms, some people do their stomach or their backs. Whatever I guess you want to do, you can ask. They might be able to do it, but I mean, I pretty much have done every area that I would normally shave. Yeah, that's exactly right. I've done every area that I normally would shave on my body. Wow, that's crazy. But I'm really happy with the results. I'm happy because I don't have to really deal with hair regrowth. So I guess now that I've said the areas where I have gotten laser on, that leads me to my next point, which is how painful it is and what areas hurt the most. I think I am a person that has a really low tolerance for pain because I am a chicken when it comes to pain. I'm being honest with you. So I have been able to do laser, and yes, it is not the most pleasant thing to do. And let me tell you first, before we get into the areas, remember I said that I've done laser with 2 different machines. So one machine was less painful than the other one. So the machine that it's like a one that has like a metal stick where the laser is basically farther away from your skin, that one didn't hurt as much, but at the same time, I experienced less results than with the second one that I mentioned after. So the second one is, and let me use the example of this control again. So let's say this is the one, because it goes right on the surface of your skin. The laser is actually closer to your hair follicles, which in result are actually, you know, targeting the hair closer and faster. So that second one is definitely more painful, but I saw more results and better results faster than with the previous one. So having said that, the underarms, I think as far as painful levels, it's okay. The area that hurts the most is when you go to this inner part of the underarm. That area really hurts. But once again, sessions don't really last a long time. It all depends on what areas you're getting. It depends. Doing underarms is probably done in like 3 to 5 minutes, the most. So it is not really something that lasts a long time, but it does hurt for those few seconds that they're doing it on you. So underarms, I think it's okay. It wasn't really that painful, but in the center area, that's where it hurt the most. Upper lip, it does hurt, but it's not too bad. Legs is actually the easiest. The only areas where it hurt the most is where you don't have a lot of skin, I guess, covering the bone. Like for example, in the knee, it does hurt because you feel the machine going closer to your bone. But once again, it goes so fast that it's just for a few seconds that you're gonna experience pain. The legs, honestly, the rest is not painful at all. At least it wasn't for me. The area that really hurt the most for me was the bikini and Brazilian area. You know what I mean? That area was honestly the most painful, and I couldn't do it without a numbing cream, which, by the way, that is an option. If you are somebody who doesn't tolerate pain well, you can request to have a numbing cream put on before your treatment. So the bikini and Brazilian area was definitely an area in which I had to use a numbing cream. I did one session without it, and I was like jumping the entire time. I honestly could not deal with the pain. And just remember, I'm a person with low tolerance to pain. So maybe if you're someone who has a high tolerance for pain, you might not need it, but I was one that needed it just in that area. I haven't used any numbing cream on my underarms, legs, or upper lip, but when it came to the bikini and Brazilian area, I really needed it. And it's okay. Honestly, after using the numbing cream, you don't really feel the pain because you just feel the pressure, I guess, and you feel little pinches, but it's not as bad as if you didn't wear a numbing cream. Now, what does the pain feels like? It's kind of hard to explain it, but think of it, at least this is what I felt. It felt like a little needle going into my skin, and because it is really hot, it feels like it burns, and you can actually smell. Yes, you can actually smell like your hair is being burnt, and that is because it is being burned. It feels like hair burned. Like, think like have you ever used like a cheap flat iron and you probably left it for too long and it felt like, you know, it was burning your hair? That's the same smell that you could smell, because it is literally, you know, destroying that follicle of your hair. So that's what it felt like for me. I mean, have you ever gotten any tattoos done? I have a small one, and it feels like a pressure, and it feels like a needle going into your skin. So if you have gotten any tattoos done, I think you will be okay. But that's the best I could explain the pain. What I do want to point out though is that it literally lasts for just a few seconds. So let's say an underarm, I already said, like timing upper lip, it's like a minute thing. Like they would just do boop, 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 and they'll be done. The legs definitely takes longer because it is a larger area. So that is gonna take maybe about 10-15 minutes. But like I said, it was the area that hurt the less, so I was okay with that. Now, the bikini and the Brazilian, because I was doing, you know, the entire area, it did take about 10 minutes or so. So it is something that it lasts longer, but like I'm telling you, it's just a few instances that it's gonna hurt. You will be okay. If I survive, you can survive. So that's as far as what the pain feels like and the level of pain. So moving on to the next question, how do you prepare for your session? So basically, the day before you do your laser, you're supposed to shave the area because you don't want to have any hair on the surface of your skin. And that's one thing, and you should do it at least 12 hours before you go, because, you know, if you shave, obviously you're gonna have a skin irritation, and you don't want your skin to be irritated when you go do the laser. So that's one thing. The second thing is that you are not supposed to use any body lotions or creams or any oils on your skin, because that's just not gonna allow the laser to penetrate well. So the skin has to be completely clean. If you do your underarms, you cannot use deodorant either, because you're not supposed to have anything on your skin. So now what happens during a session of laser? So I already touched bases on how long each area of the body will take. It all depends on what area you do. I think I said underarms could be around 3 to 5 minutes. Upper lip, it could be as fast as like 1 or 2 minutes. Legs could be like 10-15. And I feel like that's the max that an area will take, unless you're doing like your entire body, you know, that might take longer. But so that's as far as timing. Now they will ask you to wear eye protection because laser can damage your eyes, so you should be wearing like some glasses that will protect your eyes, and the technician or the person who's doing the laser on you will also be wearing eye protection, so that's very important. And depending on where you go and what type of machine they use on you, they might use a cold gel on top of your skin. So that second one that I mentioned, the one that goes really close to your skin, so every time I've done laser with that machine, they actually apply like a cooling gel on my skin, and I think they do that to also protect your skin because the laser is so close to your skin, and to prevent from burning your skin, they will put this gel to also help cooling down your skin. So that's another thing that you should expect. Now, the next question will be, what's the care after a session? So the first thing that you have to do is that you have to apply SPF, and especially if it's on your face and if you're going to be in the sun. They actually recommend that you don't spend a lot of time under the sun, because what happens is that when you get laser, your skin is going to be very sensitive, and being exposed to the sun can cause your skin to change in color, or hyperpigmentation can occur. So you don't want to be exposed or be under the sunlight for long periods of time, and if you are going to be in the sun, you have to wear sun protection, and it's just better to protect your skin. Now, the second thing I wanted to mention is that they normally do tell you that you shouldn't exercise or do any sweating activity for that day that you get the session, because your skin will be irritated, and having large amount of sweat is just gonna irritate your skin, and you don't want that. So you should at least wait around 24 hours before you go back to doing exercise or do any sweating activity. So the next question is, what do you expect to see after a session of laser hair removal? And this specifically happens on the first 2 or 3 sessions that you do laser. So you should expect to see the follicles of your hair literally falling out. You would see kind of like if they just came out of your pores. I know it sounds nasty and it's a little bit weird, but that's just what happens, because the laser essentially damaged that root of the hair, and it caused it to be expelled out of your skin, I guess. And at least my technician said that I shouldn't poke at them, like I shouldn't try to remove them, because you should let them fall on their own. So I just didn't touch it, but you should be able to see how the hair is just coming out essentially, and that's just normal. And when you see that, it's actually a good sign, because that means that the laser is actually working. Once you see hair regrowing, you will see that the hair growing back, it's gonna be thinner and thinner every time. So if you see that, that's definitely a good sign, because it means that the treatment is actually working. The next question I have is how often you should do or schedule, I guess, your laser hair removal sessions. So they normally recommend that you do each session between 6 and 8 weeks apart, and it all depends on you, again, like how stubborn your hair is. The reason why you wanna wait that long is because you have to let a new cycle of the hair to happen, because when the follicles fell from the first session, let's say, eventually new hair is going to start regrowing. So the next session, you want to be able to target that new follicle of the new root of the hair that started regrowing. So you want to allow your body to go through another cycle of hair growth so that you can target that next cycle. You know what I mean? If you do it too soon, the hair is not going to be grown enough where it's not going to give you the same effect. And if you wait too long, you might lose, you know, progress that you did on the first session. So normally your technician will tell you how often you should do it, but on average it's between 6 to 8 weeks. I personally have done 6 weeks, I've done 5 weeks, I've done 7 weeks, but I kept it in that range of time. The last question I have in my notes is, how many sessions do you need so that you don't see any more hair. And I think this depends on each person, and I can only speak from my own experience because it all depends on how stubborn your hair is, how thick your hair is. So every person's experience is gonna be different. Every person's results are gonna be different because it all depends on how your hair is. And I personally, so to be able to not see any hair growth, I've done 10 sessions on my underarm. And like I said, I do have a couple of stubborn hairs that keep regrowing, but they're so thin that they don't bother me. If I wanted to remove those hairs completely, I guess I will have to do a couple more retouch sessions. But like I said, if I shave that one hair that keeps growing back, I'll probably have to shave like once a month or once every 2 months. That is perfect for me. I don't really have to worry about that. So that's my underarms. My upper lip, it also took about 10 sessions for me not to see any hair growth. So for the bikini and Brazilian area, I wouldn't be able to tell you yet because I've done 6 sessions and I still see hair growing back. So I'm gonna go another set of 6 sessions. That's the area that I really wanna forget about, and I don't wanna have any more hair regrowth. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing a couple more sessions. So that's that. Now the legs, that has been the most stubborn area so far in my body. I've done a total of 15 sessions for me not to see much hair growth. And even then, I think I will still have to do touch-up sessions in the future. So like I'm saying, it all depends what area of your body you're doing, and it also depends on you. So normally, on average, some people might have to do 5 to 10 sessions to really not see much hair regrowth. But even then, I think you should expect, like I've said a million times in this video by now, possibly, you should expect to do retouch sessions in the future. Even with all of that and everything that I said, honestly, doing laser hair removal has been one of the best decisions in my life. I don't regret any of it, and I think the cost and the pain that you experience, it's totally worth it. I feel so happy and so much more confident that I don't have to shave. Like, you have no idea. Like, I go literally weeks, months sometimes without shaving. Alright, so after talking to you to what it feels like hours to me, I know this video is going to be a long one, so I really hope you enjoy watching this and that this video was informative and that I answer all of your questions. And if you have any more questions, you can go ahead and leave them down below in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future content or videos. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.